Among my most treasured books as a child was a volume of Greek myths. My eldest brother, a sleep-deprived junior doctor at the time, bought it for me from a Warren-like bookshop near his flat in London. The shop, sadly, is long gone. But I still have Children of the Gods by Kenneth MacLeish, illustrated by Elizabeth Frink. It infiltrated my childhood imagination. It was one of the things that set me on the path of studying classics and becoming a writer. Perhaps it was those pictures, those muscular pencil drawings, that made the greatest impression. Artemis, with her lean, athletic body, Hades, inscrutable king of the dead, magnificent and horrifying in his chariot, eyes shadowed by his dark helmet. Of course, the stories were marvellous too. Strange and wild, full of powerful witches, unpredictable gods, and sword-wielding slayers. They were also extreme, about families who turn murderously on each other, impossible tasks set by cruel kings, love that goes wrong, wars and journeys, and terrible loss. There was magic, there was shape-shifting, there were monsters, there were descents to the land of the dead. Humans and immortals inhabited the same world, which was sometimes perilous, sometimes exciting. The stories were obviously fantastical. All the same, brothers really do war with each other. People tell the truth but aren't believed. Wars destroy the innocent. Lovers are parted. Parents endure the grief of losing children. Women suffer violence at the hands of men. The cleverest of people can be blind to what is really going on. The law of the land can contradict what you know to be just. Mysterious diseases devastate cities. Floods and fire tear lives apart. For the Greeks, the word mythos simply meant a traditional tale. In the 21st century, we have long left behind the political and religious framework in which these stories first circulated, but their power endures. Greek myths remain true for us because they excavate the very extremes of human experience. Sudden, inexplicable catastrophe, radical reversals of fortune, seemingly arbitrary events that transform lives. They deal, in short, in the hard, basic facts of the human condition. For the ancient Greeks and Romans, myths were everywhere. The stories were painted on the pottery that people ate and drank from. They were carved into the pediments of the temples, outside which they sacrificed to the gods. They were the raw material of the songs they sang and the rituals they performed. Myths provided a shared cultural language and a tentacular, ever-branching network of roots towards understanding the nature of the world, of human and divine life. They explained the stars. They told of the creation of plants and animals, rocks and streams. They hovered around individual locales, explaining the origin of towns, regional cults, and families. They reinforced customs and norms, sometimes offering a narrative justification for habits of oppression, not least of women and outsiders. For a people scattered liberally across the Mediterranean and the Black Sea, Greek culture flowed out well beyond the boundaries of the modern Greek state. They also provided a shared sense of cultural identity. The tales in this book draw on sources by people writing not only in Greece, but in what we would now call Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Turkey, and Italy. The world they filled with stories stretched from Greece to Georgia, from Spain to Syria, from Afghanistan to Sudan. The Greeks often took a skeptical attitude to their own myths. The earliest philosophers questioned whether the events described in the old stories could really have happened. But even the staunchly rational Plato at times invented his own legendary stories to drive his philosophical points home. From him we have the idea of the lost city of Atlantis, and his Republic famously ends with the myth of Ur,